please, can everybody come forward a little bit? We're about to begin. Dit kan ik goed.
Dear guests, good morning to you all. On behalf of the Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Policy, as host of this event, and also on behalf of the entire multi-stakeholder host team, a warm welcome to you all in the auditorium and online, because we have remote participants. A warm welcome, despite the current bad weather. We cannot rely on that in the Netherlands, but we can rely on you being here, and I would thank you for that. We have an interesting but busy program ahead of us, so we should get started. Don't you think so, Marjolein?
I think so. Time is short, so let's the dialogue begin. And I promise you, at the end of the day, when we go to the beach, it will be very dry weather. But for now, have a very good day, very inspiring. And I invite the Mayor of The Hague to start the dialogue today. Welcome to Pauline Krikke.
Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to The Hague, the city whose honor it is to host a European dialogue on the internet governance. A meeting which follows in the footsteps of other conferences held in The Hague on this topic, like the Global Conference on Cyberspace and the Summit on Accountability in the Digital Age. But this European dialogue on internet governance also fits in a wider Hague tradition. A tradition which dates back to the end of the 19th century, but which is still very much alive today. Because it is part of what The Hague makes what it is. And that is building a better world. A peaceful, just and safe world. And anyone wanting to create a better world in the 21st century cannot, of course, do that without taking cyberspace into account. We can no longer imagine our lives without the internet. It offers us a wealth of opportunities, but at the same time presents us with complex problems. Because where does the boundary lie between what is and what is not acceptable in a digital world? Where does freedom of expression end and censorship begin? And to what extent do we want governments or commercial parties to decide what we are going to see? A great deal has been written about the capacity of social media to promote democracy and build bridges. But at the same time, it also becomes clear that social media can create an even deeper social divides and turn groups of people against one another. As the city of peace and justice, The Hague wants to be actively involved in finding answers to the question of how to deal with this new reality. Because if only the internet is free, safe and accessible to all, that it can support freedom and democracy, and foster innovation, along with social and economic progress. In short, only a free and safe internet will help to build a better world. Attempts to nationalize it and place it under government control will rob the internet of its unique power, the dynamism which comes from the fact that everyone can put something on it. Of course, we all want to see crime and abuse banned from the internet. But that should never be a pretext for censorship. Which brings me to the next point. Last November, we celebrated the 17th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. A human lifespan later, this Universal Declaration has lost none of its validity, has not lost anything of its importance, and is still desperately needed as a measure of human dignity. Far away, and also less far away, including in Europe, we see nationalist forces gaining ground, and freedom coming under attack on numerous fronts. For example, press freedom and education, as well as the internet. I can honestly say that these developments worry me. I do not believe in the notion of every man for himself. I believe in the power of openness and international cooperation. That is also the strength of The Hague, the city where the world is at home. The question which this raises, however, is, what about human rights in the digital world? International law, the foundation of which were laid at the Hague Peace Conferences, applies to the digital world as well. But it has to be observed, of course. Something on which agreements have to be made. And that is precisely why I'm so delighted that the European dialogue on internet governance is taking place right here in The Hague. Because this is a process which humanity will have to develop together. The Hague sees it as its task to support that process in whatever way it can. And our Deputy Mayor Saskia Bruines is very much involved in that. There is already ample expertise on this subject available in and around The Hague. In the field of cybersecurity, for example, but also increasingly in the field of artificial intelligence and the use of big data for humanitarian aid. A few days ago, a hackathon for peace, justice and security again brought many people with cyber talent to The Hague. Apart from this concentration of knowledge, The Hague has proven itself to be a unique setting for building trust between parties. Confidence between nations, faith between businesses, and as a place for international dialogue. I wish you plenty of inspiration and success today and tomorrow, and know that you will always be welcome in The Hague.
Thank you very much, and I think thank you for your hospitality as well. And I think after these 2 days, everybody feels the warm welcome in The Hague and will come back. Thank you.
Thank you.
For now, I'm very short. I'm here. I invite Sandra Hoferichter to the stage from the EuroDIG Secretariat, because without her and without her team, this conference was not here. So we're very happy to invite you, and the floor is yours.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear friends of a free and open EuroDIG, dear friends of an internet, dear friends of EuroDIG. Also warm welcome from my side. This year's motto, cooperating in the digital age, is in my view one of the strongest we ever had. First of all, it describes a need that becomes more and more evident because no single stakeholder can claim to have the solution to shape our digital future. Secondly, it comes very timely. Just after President Emmanuel Macron promoted multilateralism over unilateralism during last year's IGF. Just after governments, the private sector and many civil society organizations signed the Paris Call of Trust and Security in Cyberspace. And just after the report of UN Secretary Antonio Guterres' high-level panel on digital cooperation released the report. Our title hits also the right place, and it's not by accident to have this motto in the Netherlands, since cooperation is in the DNA of the Dutch people and has a long history here in the country, not only in relation to the internet. However, cooperation is a big word. The good thing is it's better understood than internet governance because it is a universal word and has a similar syntax across the globe. But opinions are widespread how far cooperation goes. It bears a promise that can be broken, for instance, when the commitment to cooperate remains lip service, or when cooperation is on a level and the level of discussion is disconnected from the level of taking decisions. In many cases, this is still reality, and we should be creative how to overcome this gap. We will summarize the results of the debates from this 2 days in the messages of The Hague, and you will find in your delegates' bag already the messages from EuroDIG, the Southeastern European Dialogue on Internet Governance, which took place a month ago. Please take the views of this region of Europe into consideration when discussing the issues here. During the next 2 days, you will have the opportunity to experience the Dutch way of cooperation. They have even created a term for it. It's called polderen, that comes from a process making land out of water. And it literally means finding common ground. But you can also expect and experience Dutch hospitality. And I can promise you, our host has put a lot of effort into making your stay in The Hague unforgettable. Furthermore, they proved to be an excellent cooperation partner when planning this event. I would like to express my deepest thanks and appreciation in particular to Arnold van Rijn and Marjolein Bontius, including their teams, as well as the City Council of The Hague, SIDN, who made EuroDIG in The Hague possible. Now, my next sentence says, on my script, when I look into the room, I have the feeling we reached another level of registration for this conference. We indeed have nearly 800 registrations, but I guess the weather and some traffic jam is hampering a lot of people from reaching this venue in time. However, it gives me confidence to continue promoting multi-stakeholder dialogue and cooperation in the digital age. Next year, I can say already, we will go back to the roots of the internet. Be curious who will take the flag from the Netherlands in the last session of tomorrow. And now I wish you 2 days of happy poldering.
Thank you, Sandra. Thank you very much. And indeed, I hope everybody will be inspired after those 2 days and will never forget this conference, even if you're not here yet. I think you will hear everything from everybody.